And they're going to have to change their way of thinking, change their speech patterns, and change some of their actions. Because if they don't change, nothing's going to change.
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
That all starts with learning. And you teach, I think you called it the Teachability Index, right?
Yeah.
You teach how to learn in that program. And, you know, it's allowed me over the years, when I go in any meeting, any conversation, it's allowed me to absorb the information being given to me and learn something every day from everybody.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. The first two things we talk about, well, the first thing I talk about in Your Wish is Your Command is who do you listen to? Because most people listen to somebody that they shouldn't listen to. They listen to people that know about things instead of knowing things. So for example, if I were to talk to you about China, so let me tell you everything about China. Well, I don't know China. I know about China, but I've never been to China. I mean, I've eaten some Chinese food, and I know some people who are Chinese, but that doesn't make me an expert on China. I don't know China. I'm not Chinese. I haven't lived in China. I don't know China. I know about China. So you would be a fool to listen to me talk about China. In the same way, when you listen to somebody who never made any money, never manifested things in their life, that are stressed out and get angry and their buttons are always pushed all the time, and they're telling you how to manifest your goals, dreams, and desires, and they're making money selling books or audio courses or seminars or webinars on how to manifest, they only are telling you what they know about. And all they're really doing is they just buy a bunch of books on law of attraction, and I've seen these guys, and I'm with them. I'm in their house. Yeah. I'm putting together a new course. How are you putting together the course? Well, I bought all these other books, and I'm just picking out the best thing from each one. Then I'm kind of regurgitating it in my own little style, and that's what I'm going to teach. They don't know what they're talking about. They know about it, but they don't know it. So when somebody said, "How did you put together the Your Wish is Your Command program?" I said, I pulled from the training I got in the Brotherhood early on in the late 60s and early 70s. And I pulled from applying that into my life to generate billions of dollars in real business. And so when I teach the Your Wish is Your Command program, I'm a person who has what you want and has been where you are. So who do you listen to? You listen to somebody who has what you want, but has been where you are. That's critical. And ideally, somebody who actually used what they're teaching before they ever taught it and got great success. So that's like the first principle. And the second one you just mentioned, the Teachability Index, which is if you want to learn anything, you have to be teachable or coachable. Michael Jordan was coachable. Tiger Woods was coachable. They were teachable. LeBron James, coachable, teachable. The top athletes, they're always said to be the most coachable. They are willing to learn. So the Teachability Index says you have to have a high willingness to learn, which means you're willing to put in the time and the effort. You're willing to pay the money, to put in the time, to put in the effort. You want to learn. High willingness to learn. But number two, you have to have a high willingness to accept change. And most people don't have a high willingness to accept change. They're never going to learn anything. And that's really the critical part, because when a person goes through, whether it's Your Wish is Your Command or any of the other things that we offer, they're going to be learning things that they haven't heard before. And they're going to have to change their way of thinking, change their speech patterns, and change some of their actions. Because if they don't change, nothing's going to change. Brian Tracy said it best this way. He said, if you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. And a lot of people aren't willing to change. Yeah.
So true. You know, some of us are born into better situations. My grandfather, after being a Chicago cop, he owned gas stations. He was selling gold and silver in the 60s, I think. So I had a man I can learn from, right? He wasn't a janitor like my best buddy. His grandfather and father were a janitor. What could he learn from them except, you know, limited scope of things? So if you are in a situation like my friend who was born into a family of janitors, How do you change? How do you play off of what you just said? You got to change things. How do you do that?
Yeah. Aristotle Onassis was arguably the richest man at the world for a time, or at least one of the richest men in the world, probably one of the 10 richest men in the world. And he said,
He was buying ships when nobody wanted ships.
Exactly. He was buying ships and everybody thought it was ridiculous. He made a fortune. And he said that if he were flat broke, the one thing he would do in order to establish wealth again, he would save every penny he had so that as often as he could, he would go someplace where wealthy people congregated. Maybe it was a nice restaurant. Maybe he would become a caddy at a country club and caddy and hold, golf clubs for wealthy people. He would do anything to be around, just being in the same room, because maybe he would listen to a conversation and he could glean something. But he also said the energy in the room that is created when wealthy people get together changes you. Your income is always the average of your 5 best friends. So in my particular case, my dad was a great guy. He was a welder. He never went to college. My mom was a mom. She never went to college. She was a full-time mom. She didn't work. Everybody that I knew, there was an electrician, there was a fireman, there was a policeman. These are the dads, right? When I grew up, there was a carpenter. There was a guy who was a trash collector.
Great blue-collar guys.
Blue-collar guys. So if I wanted to become wealthy, I can't learn from these people, even though they're great people and they have a nice life, but they're not going to teach me anything about wealth creation. So I had to say, where can I go? And there was a restaurant called Hawthorne by the Sea. It was owned by a guy named Athanas, Anthony Athanas, a Greek guy, immigrated. And he had this very beautiful, fancy, high-priced restaurant. It was in Swampscott, Massachusetts, which is next to Marblehead, and that was a wealthy area. That's where the lawyers and the doctors and the business owners lived. They were rich. So I got a job at that restaurant so I could basically be in a room with rich people. And I would leave thinking, something happened to me. Being in that room, associating with other people makes the difference. So the key is association, which is why when people get the Your Wish is Your Command program and they go through it, we also say, hey, you can also join our private club for, it's very cheap. And that way you can associate with winners. You can meet millionaires, celebrities, very wealthy people. You can meet people that are positive, motivated, whether it's in a local chapter meeting or a virtual meeting online, or you can come to one of our global events. We take over an entire cruise ship in January. The Norwegian Cruise Line Pearl, 2,200 people. And we take over the entire thing. We own it. And the members of our club fill it up for 6 days. So imagine being on the ship for 6 days with 2,200 people. Every single one of them is a member of the club. They're motivated, they're positive, they're inspired. There's celebrities on there, billionaires on there, multimillionaires on there, millionaires on there, titans of industry. There are people that are just starting off but that are excited about life. That creates an environment of energy that's positive and high frequency and is going to change it. So association is critical to success, associating with winners, and you will become one. Hi, I'm Kevin Trudeau. This is everything they don't want you to know about to improve the quality of your life. Broadcasting every Monday and Wednesday, 2 days a week now. Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock Chicago time. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to the channel and share these shows with everyone you know.